So with that now, with where the Bulls are left at with this, these are the assets that the Bulls still have at their disposal. As far as players, of course, we still got Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, Mike Conley, Anthony Simons, Jaden Ivey. All those players can still be moved at this trade deadline to go along with the other expirings you have. You still got Zach Collins on expiring. Dalen Terry is still technically expiring as he goes into restricted free agency. Not saying that anybody's going to want to be gunning for Dalen Terry, but it's just another asset that if you do decide to move on, let's say you want to keep Jaden Ivey and you want to keep Anthony Simons, maybe you just move Dalen Terry in there, right? But regardless of that, the Bulls still have multiple expiring contracts. They still have the same basically $79 million in expiring contracts that they had before, right? Mike Conley expiring, Kobe expiring, Zach Collins expiring, Anthony Simons expiring, Ayo Dosunmu is expiring, right? Jaden Ivey technically is an expiring contract because he's going into restricted free agency. So the Bulls still are armed with a number of expiring contracts. And when you look at the money on that, Kobe White, $12.8 million. Ayo Dosunmu, $7.5 million. Mike Conley, $10.7. Anthony Simons, $27.6. Jaden Ivey, $10.1 million contract. So the Bulls have still a bevy of expiring contracts that they can still look to use to move any deal. On top of that as well, they have now an $18 million trade exception. We've talked about that, right? It's $17.9 million exactly, but basically an $18 million trade exception. They have $4 million left of their mid-level exception that can be used to absorb players at this trade deadline, and we are still $10 million below the luxury tax, which means that the Bulls can still absorb more salary than they send out, even if they don't want to use their trade exception. On top of all of that, with what the moves are now, and if AK does not acquire any more salary that goes past this season, the Bulls are still set up to have $122 million in cap space this offseason. That's what they're set up to have right now. So the question now becomes about what are the Bulls' remaining goals at this trade deadline? And that gets into some of the things that we've heard. For one, we've heard that Mike Conley is not expected to stay with the Chicago Bulls. No shit there. Aging veteran that, I think people still kind of look at Mike Conley, who he's been over his career, not necessarily who he is right now. Mike Conley's washed, y'all. It is what it is. He's 38 years old. He's had a great career for what it's worth. Also, he's had multiple seasons where he's averaged 20 points per game, right? But at this point now, at this stage, Mike Conley is not the player that he used to be. Now, reportedly, and again, I'm just going off the reports here, that there are still teams that are interested in Mike Conley and potentially what he can bring as a veteran. So if the Bulls do find a trade, maybe